Hey there everybody, Phil here for AndroidCentral.com, and here it is. It's AT&T, it's the Death Star. And it's the one. It's the HTC One VX. You can just barely see it up there. So this is a phone that was actually announced way back in October, early October. It was supposed to be released on November 16th, ended up coming out a couple weeks later. So now we finally have it. Gonna give you a quick non-unboxing unboxing. So quick start guide, blah, blah, blah. Here's the phone, and I'm gonna lift this up to get it out, because there's a little hole in the back that helps you push it out. Use it. I highly recommend it. What else is in the box? Really nothing. So more legal junk that we're never ever going to read. Don't pretend otherwise. Charger and micro USB cable. There, it's unboxed. So let's actually take a look at this phone. Now, when this was first announced, I was kind of intrigued and a little excited by it because it's not a 1S, it's not a 1X, it's not a 1V. It's something different. Flip it over and there's this little piece of plastic on it that shows you that the back cover can come off, and we'll get to that here in a second. Toss that aside. So you see it's done up in white, and I'll tell you what, let's just go ahead and open it up. So the back cover does come off, but look, there is no removable battery. Just don't even try. There are some contacts there for antennas, but there's no removable battery. If I were the kind of person to pull up that sticker, I would tell you that you cannot remove the battery because it is not under there. So hear me. SIM card, micro SD card slot. So it has expandable storage, which is good because there's not a lot in this thing otherwise. Pop the back on, and there you go. So this is a white polycarbonate back, a lot like the 1X. We'll show them side by side here in a second, tell you what. And snap it all back into place. Done. So very slim, very sleek. I like it. Here's the camera in the back, 5 megapixels. You've got your speaker grill. So very familiar lines, right? Volume rocker, nothing on the other side. Top, power button, 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, and a microphone. And on the bottom, micro USB, microphone, or microphone and USB. And so here's the business end. So again, this phone is kind of in the middle of everything. And I tell you what, it's 4.5 inch QHD, but already, just from the first time I turned it on, I could tell how different it is. Here's the 1S. Now the 1S is AMOLED, whereas the One VX is Super LCD2, and it's night and day. Maybe not night and day, but I could tell without even having to look. The One VX is a little bit thicker than the 1S, and it's a little bit bigger. So polycarb versus micro arc oxidation on this version. There's kind of a more normal aluminum version as well. But the polycarb is reminiscent of the original 1X on AT&T, that white polycarb. It is nice. But really, the display, Super LCD2 is so awesome. I love it. It's so much nicer. The camera doesn't quite do it justice here, I think. So under the hood, they're relatively similar. The 1S is actually a little more powerful. It's clocked a little bit higher, but not a huge deal. They both have 1 gigabyte of RAM. Software-wise, I mean, this is pretty normal stuff, right? It's still running Ice Cream Sandwich, so let's go down to see that the Sense menu is the same, right? And obviously that hasn't changed either. Dive into the software, and 4.0.4 and Sense 4.1. So it's updated Sense, which is good. Still waiting on Jelly Bean for some devices, and granted this one just launched, but it doesn't launch with Jelly Bean. Storage, not a whole lot here. You're gonna want to get a micro SD card for it probably. So 8 gigabytes of storage total, but of course you don't get nearly that much. Only 3 home screens on here by default, and you know what, that's probably okay, especially if you start using folders the way you should. Applications, a whole bunch of AT&T stuff preloaded in your usual Google suite of apps. So nothing too out of the ordinary here. You're gonna want to probably disable some Yelp, whatever, not Yelp, but Yellow Pages, YP. So not a whole lot going on there that you wouldn't expect. So where does it fit in? I mean, it's not a 1X. There's the 1X, and it's obviously smaller than the 1X, and it's a tad bigger than the 1S. The 1S is still, I think, the sexiest. It's just the slimmest and sleekest. But I think I'm going to put it to the left of the 1S. It's not quite as powerful on the spec side, and it's a little bigger, but man, that display just is really what throws a kink into that argument there, because the display is so much better on the One VX than on the 1S, even at that lower QHD resolution, which isn't a horrible resolution. The Super LCD2 makes a big difference. So there you go, guys, a quick walkthrough of the HTC One VX.
Hey, this is Alex from Android Central, and only the official Lloyd t-shirt gives me the quick energy I need to write about telephones on the internet.